Heart podcast. My name is Ben Collins, BC for short. I started this podcast to provide a platform for us to share and reflect on our collective stories and life experiences, irrespective of race, age, color, or creed. My goal is to help people be more self-conscious through raw, open, and honest dialogue about their mind and heart. Let's have a conversation. I'd like to find out how you've been. What are your life's experiences? What is your take on certain current events? And what would you say to a younger version of yourself if they were listening right now? We had the first episode, as I was saying. Tamara went first. Thank you both for your feedback. It is sort of from that feedback that I decided, because I got one of the best from my older brother, TY, in the building. Yo, I gained 13 subscribers on YouTube. I know that's not a lot, but I was excited. I was pumped. And the podcast, the video itself, hit 100 views as of, I think, like 2 days ago. So I'm just like, this is weird. I'm not a social media person, so it's kind of a weird, ticklish feeling. I'm like, okay, this is not bad. I appreciate it. So anyways, let's get into the content, right? Because this podcast is about you, right? You are my audience. You are my, panelists. I want, to provide. I created this podcast as an opportunity for people to share and reflect on their stories, and let's kind of find what it is that connects all of us, right? We're all human beings at the end of the day. The choice of birth was one of the most random things that ever happened, because we were just born. You had no say so, you just existed. We all have our unique stories. And for me personally, growing up, what helped a lot is identifying and connecting with people, right? Talking to somebody and kind of seeing that, if you change one or two things, I can see myself in your shoes. Before we dive into that, first things first, a little more introduction of yourself. So I would start with you, Gigi. Who are you? What do you do? And how does BC relate to the guest or vice versa?
Well, I am a proud member of BC family, for example. That's like something I would say. Professionally, okay. I'm an architect.
Okay.
Personally, I'm a passionate European/Italian. I am very progressive, knowledge-loving person.
I love that.
Who I am.
That's good. An architect, knowledge-driven, passionate.
It's actually funny. We had a workshop at work recently, as a personality workshop, where you find out about your strengths. It was funny because one of my strengths is being knowledge-driven. So sometimes I learn stuff for the sake of knowing, of learning it. The process of learning, the flexibility in your mind. There are certain things that I don't know. You cannot limit the value. Yeah? It's like
correct.
Being able to learn is one thing, but also like having a mind that is not compartmentalized. Like just because this doesn't apply in this case, doesn't mean I cannot use the knowledge anywhere else in the
elsewhere.
future.
Right.
And when it's pop up, then I will be able to do that like in a fraction of a second.
I think you summed it up really awesomely when you said you're a knowledge seeker. That's essentially what it is, right? You try to gather from different, situations, from different experiences, what is kind of the knowledge there. You gain all that knowledge. I think you saying that actually makes a lot of sense, right? With like, you travel, you love to travel, you take amazing pictures. You sent me the last set of pictures and I was just like, oh my God, those are great.
South Africa is great. I think that, I do like taking pictures, but I think the subject was also like putting in their own thinking.
Sure, even right now, and I mentioned this a lot, but there's so many things going on but only few people have that kind of eye to capture that moment. So yes, the subject is there, but you are doing the job of capturing the moment.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I think I have an eye for landscape and urbanscape. I think that's part of the professionally. I'm an architect, so I research for lines and alignment and perspectives. It's something that it's really in my nature. I think that we are good. That's one of the reasons why we are a good match for photography with Julie, right? He's very strong on portraits, like bringing out the history, the story of a man or a woman, bringing out the emotion.
Nice. All right, next on the hot seat is my boy T.
Oh yeah.
Do you need me to read the questions? They're your questions, so.
It's me, Thierry, PC's brother, the one and only other brother out here.
Big T in the house.
The boys out here in the world, try to build or working on building various solutions, that involve using data, to solve various problems around the world. I did engineering, mechanical engineering, math, all the way to now data science, whatever. Right now in the retail sector. And I think the most crucial question, how do I relate to BC? Fam, I don't think this is going to be enough to put it in one.
No, it is. And we go all the way back. Just all of my life, that's not a lot. Just my whole life. You've known me my whole life.
Bruh, I'm just gonna. This is my day one homie.
I'm just reminiscing. Yes, Gigi laid you out.
Bruh, she got me. I went to a couple of places and people were like, dude, out here showing up like burner. I'm like, I got the plug. I got the plug.
We have to keep the standard high. And see what's the.
And Gigi, I think that in a way speaks to the strength, right? The knowledge that you were talking about earlier, because here you are, right? Traditional Italian, and you're here doing my brother's braids. Like,
bro,
you know what I mean?
She's out here braiding locks, and I'm like, wow.
I'll tell you more. I just recently learned how to braid even my own hair. Like, I grew up, my mom never braid my hair. I always had my mom was like, the kind of mom would put the bows on top of your hair and just cut it. It's like, so it's like...
It's like, that's good.
That's good enough.
She's like, I ain't got time for this. No fancy hair for this.
You're still gonna roll around in the mud, so I don't see the problem. Yeah. I've never been a lace and pretty kind of. I've always been very sporty. Let's put it this way. At least in the
practical. Your mom was like
very practical. Don't get me wrong. My mom is always on flake. That's very curious. My mom is always on flake, and then the kids are like, yeah.
I can confirm to that. Yeah. So even when I heard this story, I was like, that doesn't really add up, right? Her mom is always on point. Like Julia's mom, bro.
Always on point.
Dude, you can wake her up like, hey, we got 5 minutes, we're gonna be at the Oscars. She is not gonna disappoint.
She's on point. Yeah.
She's not gonna disappoint. She's always on point, man. So recently actually decided to try this thing where and I do believe in that. I think I spend most of my time thinking a lot. So when people start asking me, oh, what do you do? I want to start telling them I'm a philosopher. And the question of who you are, I think that's a tremendously difficult question to answer. But what I found out so far for me is for one, I'm out here to keep life simple. And for two, I'm here to fix things and people. When I look at the path I've gone through, the things I have done, what has turned me into who I am. I'm like Bob the Builder, or I'm a fixer, man. So anybody got any problem out there, I'm your dude.
You're the plug.
I'm your dude, but yeah. So jokes aside, I have a lot of friends who even just come to me to talk about stuff, help them out. Sometimes I crack this joke where I'm like a walking box of secrets. Like, man, so there's days where I'm like, man, if I would open my mouth.
Right. I think all of us, that's a very important or key thing that you raised there, because I think all of us in this family, some degree, have that as a core strength, right? The ability to, and Julia, I'm just going back to the point that you made, right, about knowledge. We are knowledge seekers too, and we just absorb all this knowledge, from different people. And for some reason, it's always like people gravitate towards us to tell us stuff.
Even take that a step further, right? I've been in situations where there's two people all being nice with each other and all that, and then you're like, wait a minute. Like, you told me something else, and you told me something else, right? But that's also the thing about being human. I do, the older I get, I do understand it is a very, very complicated thing to be a human being out here. It's not a given to, wake up every day and go about your business, right? But yeah, in general, that's how I would define myself, right? The core part of me is made up of the fact that I'm inspired and attracted to solving problems in whatever form, be it in people, be it in things. That was part of the transition of me going from, mechanical engineering, the business administration, now walking this path and space of data and, again, accumulating all this knowledge. And like what Gigi was saying before, I personally don't believe that knowledge is ever wasted. You might not use it immediately, but I feel like at some point down the line, it translates to other things, right? If you would let it, and you can translate and transcend through different fields.
So in many ways, the two of you are speaking the same language. I also want to explore sort of there was the who you are individually, but kind of merging or marrying that. Who are you guys as a couple?
Go first, or should I go first? And then you wanna?
I mean, I can go first. I have something to say, but I don't know if it...
Absolutely. Go ahead and say it.
Hi.
I actually wanted to say that it's very hard for us to define that, because basically the foundation of our relationship is based on we do define what we are for each other, and we play by certain rules, but we are the one defining the rules.
That's literally it. We define us by our individuality. So if I were to put it in a nutshell, we have both taken who we are as individuals and found a way to make it work and intertwine it together, right? So we have also been consistent about not losing who we are in the process of being together over these past years, which is why I believe, like Gigi greatly put it, we are way out of the norm as a couple, as husband and wife. We have always strived to live our lives. It's like we ask ourselves, what do we want? What works for us, right? It goes all the way back from for the longest of times, for example, we had a long distance relationship, right, and we found a way to make it work because none of us wanted to or should have had to give up on their dreams of doing what they wanted to do as individuals, right? That's a fact where, boy meets girl, or girl meets girl, or boy meets boy, or whatever. Before you met, you each had individual goals. You each had a path you were walking, right? Right. And the trick is, how do you walk your paths together, right? How do you combine those
without losing, in a sense, who you are?
Exactly, right? So what I like to say is, how do you turn those individual roads or paths into a highway, right? This huge road, and then make it this huge and amazing journey, which you then both share, right? And then you start adding then common goals into it. What are goals that we can both hit together, so that you then spice that up. So you want to be adding to what you already have, right?
How does a conversation like this happen? Like, it's obviously, you know who you are, right? And this other person who's lived an entirely different life from you, you kind of meet randomly, and then you're starting to talk about the future. How does that alignment work? Because again, it's not traditional, right? But you're both okay with this, and you're both kind of growing from this.
I think that for us, the key was that we knew each other before getting together. We were friends before. And the moment we got together, we were already living not only into different cities, we're living into different countries. Knowing the story, and like, it's like, at least it was the same continent. That, right. Considering our families, it's not necessarily a given, but at least it was the same continent. Right. And in that position, we were really forced in just talking. Couples, at the beginning, there is a lot of blinking and smiling and getting to know each other on several levels. For us,
I mean, I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying we were texting and calling each other every day. I'm saying maybe calling not every day, but at least like 4 times a week at night. We would call each other and talk for an hour, 2 hours. You know,
catch up, really catch up.
Really catch up.
Yes.
And that leads to, you know, you really get to know the person outside of the relationship. It's like, what do I do as a person? How do I exist in this world?
Right.
And you understand how important it is for the other person. And I don't know.
I'd like to add that it was not a pleasant experience for me, because I'm not somebody who talks a lot on the phone, especially. In general, I don't like talking a lot, and then not to say talk a lot on the phone.
Right.
But when you find, you're like, hey, this person is this important to me, you go the extra mile.
You do it 100%.
Exactly. And the next thing is, I want to top it off with, I mean, yes, having conversations is one thing, but having open, honest conversations as well. Right? So from the get-go, we were raw about what we want and what we expect from each other. Right? Where it's like, this is where I stand, this is what I want, and this is what you want, and this is where you stand. Okay, that's been set. So how do we make
alignment now? Right.
Work? Exactly, right? So it's like what Gigi was also saying, where it's like when people get to know each other, obviously there's this whole 6 months phase of rosiness, and you know, I don't know, exaggerate a little bit. You know, the other person is farting, and you're like, okay, that's a cute fart.
So, but it's making me think of one thing though, which seems to have been key, was connecting your minds and hearts, right? You were kind of looking for that alignment on that level to where you can say, you know, dear babe or whatever, this is my heart, right? This is my mind. This is kind of how I am as a person. And then her on the, you know, on the flip side of that, also saying, you know, babe, husband, you know, whatever, this is my heart, this is my mind, do you accept? And so there was that mutual kind of, and then those, you know.
Yeah. But it is very important to have those honest, again, it has to be an honest conversation. And to answer again your question, it's not like a one-time thing. Yeah. We consistently have those conversations, and I'm not even gonna lie, some of them are painful, right? Some of them are bluntly honest, some of them are they hurt, right? But that's the whole point of being together, and like, hey, consistently reminding oneself is, I'm not here against you. We're in this together. We're working.
We're teammates
together. Yes, right? It's not me against you. I'm not here to fight nobody, right? I'm about keeping my life simple.
I'd say that we have both different. Our love language is definitely not talking. There is a lot of touching. There's a lot of language, like hugs,
physical, right?
Like cuddles. There is a lot of that. It's like it also made the being a long distance very, very hard, because we are both the kind of person. We will make this joke about the cuddling account.
Yes, we have cuddle accounts, right? So you need
a cuddling account.
There's like, we need to top up the cuddling account.
Yeah, I have hugs accounts. I have cuddle accounts. You know,
I love that.
Yeah, just like I don't, because the funny thing is I'm not a hugger, right? So there's a select few. Let me finish. There's a select few people I enjoy hugging, and that's why she comes with, I'm a hugger. Yes, I enjoy hugging, but not everybody.
But not from everybody. It depends.
Exactly. So the select few people that I like hugging, when I meet them, bro, I take it in. I will give you a bear hug. I have a mean bear hug.
I think I have a permanent damage on my back for the bear hugs he gives me. But sorry.
Yeah, I'm a mean bear. I love hugs, right? But the problem is I don't love hugging everybody. I have a select few people I enjoy hugging them, right? It's like, if I meet you, I don't know you, I'm gonna shake your hand. Talk.
All right.
Yeah.
You're hugging you like
like someone's gonna be coming all the way, and I'm like, oh, you know. No, but jokes aside, just kidding. But yeah, so we have this cuddle account thing, hugs account. So yeah, that's how we went through that. But
yeah, our love language for sure is not talking, and we have to learn. And it's, I mean, that's not only that, right? It's also like being vulnerable in front of the person.
Right.
You know, it also takes, hey, this is my dream, my deepest dreams and hopes.
Right.
Are you okay with that?
Right. It has to be part of your dreams, right? At the end of the day.
No, or even understanding. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't even necessarily have to be part of the other person. It's just like, do you understand? Are you still going to be able to support them? Are you going to even be able to take what the person tells you? Right? So again, backing up to your initial question, the answer is we do our best to consistently have honest again, keyword, conversations with each other, because again, you can have conversations, you can communicate with people, but there's ways, and there's also, what's the bottom line of it. So for us, it's just having those honest conversations, right?
Right.
And also, keeping each other in check, making sure each other we're each following our paths, which we said to, not forgetting the individual, because that's also something that's dangerous, right? You get to be in a relationship
and you lose yourself. You don't want that.
You lose yourself. And the thing is, I personally believe the self always comes back up, because you are who you are, right? It's a question of understanding and finding out who are you, what makes you you, but you are inherently the human being you are.
Right.
And if you dumb that down or forget it for a while, it still is gonna come back up.
It's still gonna surface. It's gonna come back to the surface, right?
The reality is that the other person, there's something we always say to each other, is like, I'm not your happiness. I can add to your happiness, but you are happy and I'm happy, and then we are happy together.
Deep.
Yes.
Deep.
Because if my happiness is only in my partner, then I'm not happy.
You're not a happy person. Yeah, you're not a happy person.
So the whole resentment, and there is there are things that come up in yourself, and to avoid that,
you have to find your own happiness, find the things that make you tick, and then, like you were saying, your partner just enhances,
exactly. Yeah.
Self-confidence and knowing that you are your own person, and knowing that you can count on yourself, and then you can do things by yourself. There is a self-confidence that is built in this process. It's very important to be happy with who you are and what you do in life.
So you both, it sounds like that if you were gonna evaluate that you both have grown as individuals, but also, and due to that individuality, you've grown as a couple better. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
We're two individuals, but working our way and going every day as one unit, right? So, but yeah,
I love that. That is your identity, essentially, right? The question about who are you people as a couple, that is essentially your identity.
Yes.
And I think more people are getting to know you, the more, if you understand that hey, if you see Thierry, it's an extension of Julia, the same thing. If they see you, you're an extension of Thierry. Whatever Thierry is doing, you're doing.
You heard that? I tell her this every now and then.
It sounds like it. Just from listening to you guys.
Brother, of course you're spoken to each other.
Again, he is as well. No, but that's the thing. It goes around. He is an extension of me.
So I want to know from which parent is coming then.
Oh, clearly.
Who did you?
Clearly, doctor or something.
Clearly, it comes from the top. Yeah, it comes from the top. That's the
thing. It goes the same thing for him. When he is somewhere, he is.
But we also said that we are two different people. Like separate.
I think not to muddy it, because I can see the rabbit hole you're going down, Julia.
Yeah.
You are an individual person, 100% correct.
We have agreed to share our lives.
Yes, that's
right, and that brings me back to also my brother as well. He is an extension of me. Wherever he is, we don't need to be married. Like, there's different bonds.
But you haven't chosen each other, for example. So we chosen each other.
What do you mean we haven't chosen each other? I have chosen my brother. Yes.
We have chosen each other. Like, we could clearly be like, bro, I don't like you. I don't ever want to do shit with you. I delete his number. I could do that.
Yeah. The funny thing is that we've been in family environments where that is the dynamic. So no, Julia, it was not a given that we chose each other. We chose each other.
I think that knowing the two of you, I see that very hard to happen. But
yeah, I mean, work
for what to happen.
Like us not choosing each other means.
Oh yeah.
But again, the point is
very family driven person.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, again, I want to give credit to the credit. We worked on it.
Yeah.
We worked on it. It didn't come from
It was
heaven.
not just a given.
That's why the church credit we got.
Yeah.
But my church bank account,
It's fat.
add up like
Mine
we
is low, so please don't.
from birth is like going to church every Sunday, reading the Bible, and then you go to boarding school. I got you, bro. I'm weird. Everybody's going to heaven.
For real, bro.
I got enough cash, heavenly cash to take people, so I'm good.
It's a good point you make, Thierry, just because I think reflecting back, right, and even this picture, right, of all of us here, I think I've always just, you as my older brother, right, you've always been, kind of that example to where, dude, I've admired you, obviously. I've admired you. I think you started the whole throw thing, in the family. I remember when we were in college and you showed up for a visitation and your hair was like, off, what I mean? And spiky, bro. You've always been the trendsetter, I don't know if you remember this.
Please don't hype him. It's already.
No, I'm hyping him. He's my brother. Let me say something. I have my jacket. My jacket, you've given me maybe like 2 or 3 jackets. And I mean like straight off of the bat. Because there's the jacket, there's the sport coat that had the patches. You remember the one that had the bro, you gave me that one. And then now in Germany, you gave me the other, like, bro. You still remember that sports coat? Oh, bro, wow. You have always been a trendsetter.
I forgot about that one, though.
You've always been a trendsetter. I admire my older brother, man. I'm just like,
bro, I thought you were talking about the black one you took.
That was the more recent one, but there was one before that. That one, I'm trying to remember because I think it was when you came over in 2015.
For your
the graduation,
yes.
So GiGi, as for context, me checking his jacket, it was not the first time. I just look at him and I'm like, you dress good, bro. I want that.
I just want to say that I also used to steal that jacket, and I'm very sad that now it's gone.
It is
nice what happened to sharing? Sharing is
I'm sharing with you.
But funny enough, I actually love that you talked about that because it just cements the point I'm trying to make. We are extensions of each other.
Because we all wear the same jacket.
Yes, believe it or not.
It's the jacket that connects us.
But the funny thing is, it's not because we all wear the same jacket. It's because we are attracted to the same jacket. That's the thing. It's not about us wearing. It's about the connection.
Yeah,
the connection.
And GiGi, I know that is something that, because even in Germany, you've kind of said, oh, well, this thing happens doesn't mean that it's connected. I get that, but for example, this picture that I keep bringing up, Tamara just printed the same picture yesterday, and I printed the same picture yesterday. She just posted a video in the group chat where she's like, look at my wall. The first picture is this one. And I just yesterday. We did not talk.
Yeah.
But shit like that just happens with us.
Yeah, man. And with her also a lot of times is again the same thing. Like, we'll be somewhere. And then someone's gonna ask me something, and then she's gonna answer. I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna say exactly that. So yeah, we would see something, right? And then I'm just gonna look at her. I'm like, okay, gotcha. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Gotcha. We are all connected, guys. And again, that was the reason for this podcast, is that through our conversations we can find that. Because what I also want you to realize is that my network, I should say, is your network. Because if you come, for example, and you're like, you need this, I need that, I know people that I can kind of link you up with. You know what I mean? So we are all just kind of leveraging each other in our interactions, we're all connected. That was my point. And I'm hoping that through this broadcast we can show that.
Yes, no, certainly.
So I want to be mindful of y'all's time too, because I know it's late there. And we will have, this is obviously one of several discussions to come. I want to grow this, guys. More and more, I just want to do what I'm good at. This year, my theme is self. So I'm going down this path of self-discovery to really, who am I, right? I think I know the answer to that, but that'll be an interesting segment. I can just maybe have a who am I segment of this podcast where I just kind of ask people that question. Guys, again, I want to be mindful of your time because I know we've been talking now for a minute. I cannot wait to tell you a story. Before I let you guys go, there's one more question that I got. So, you know how I'm talking to the students at UTD?
Right.
Later in, this month about, just my experiences as a professional in the industry. Obviously, the traditional way of doing things, is gonna go away, especially with AI. There's Chat GPT. There's, the landscape of education is changing. So I'm just hoping to get students motivated and help them kind of understand the other side of it. You can be book smart, but being business smart is another thing, right? So
definitely, and that doesn't get taught, unfortunately. But yeah,
that does not. It does not get taught at school. So when you then in this moment, right? Because you've had definitely work experience. You've been out there in the field. You've seen what it's like. If you were talking to a younger version of yourself, that version that I'm going to go talk to in school, what would you say given your life experiences now?
Younger version of me, apply for that position you think you're not qualified for.
I like, because you learn something. You learn on the job.
You learn on the job.
Yeah.
That's one thing that my sister told me, and suddenly she told me, you're not hired for what you can do. You're hired for what you can learn.
Right. Holy crap, that's a good one.
Never forget to be humble because you always will have to learn. Not because you're young, but because the moment you stop learning is the moment you're out of the market.
Pretty much.
You can be 50, you can be 60. There's no limit. There's no age limit. If you want to be relevant, it's continuous learning.
Right.
Connect the dots. Just use your mind and don't just listen and repeat, but connect the dots, the information, and teach your mind how to make those connections. Learn how to use the tools, learn how to develop the tools.
Okay, so then from what you've said, here is the quote from Gigi. If you want to be relevant, connect the dots and keep learning.
Yeah.
Does that sound like something I can attach your name to?
Yeah, sounds like
There you go. There you go. T, you're next on the block, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things I would say, but I keep it down to two things. And I'm gonna need an analogy for that. The first one is, I would say, work hard. Work hard. There's this saying that people are like, oh, you don't need to work hard, work smart, blah blah. But again, and here comes the analogy, right? If you work hard, you get bitten by the person who works smart. True.
Right.
But the person who works smart gets bitten by the person who works smart and hard. So inherently, you still need to work hard. So that's the first one. Work hard. And the second thing is fail fast, move on. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
Because that encompasses be daring. If you see something like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it, do it. If you fail, you try. Right? At the end of the day, you want to be on the side that says, oh, I tried this and it didn't work. Right. And then, you don't want to be on the side of like, I wish I had.
I didn't even try, right?
Yes. Like, try, fail fast, move on.
That's dope. I love this. So I summed you up, Terry. What I'm going to say for you, there's a fail fast, move forward. But there's also what you were saying about the working hard. So work hard because the things you want to achieve will not come easy. Like you got to bust your butt to get those things.
So it's not meant in the back, like, oh, just give up your life and just keep working hard. No. Just be consistent, right? Be consistent.
So in what both of you have said, right? Julia, in a sense too, when you were talking, you mentioned be humble. And then T, your point is kind of, work hard, right? Let me show y'all some, right? And Julia, I'm sure you're going to get a kick out of this. So let me see. What screen do I want to share? Okay, I want to share screen one. Okay, so here is, can you see my screen? Let me know when you can see my screen.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
And now it is.
Okay, so this is kind of what I'm putting together for the students. I'm still building it. It's still very rough, right now. But so I'm gonna, this is how to navigate life in corporate America. I'm gonna have a slide on my personal purpose. my story in terms of my career and things like that. And then I'm gonna have here. I want the slide for friends and family, right? Because this is my network. These are the people who drive me, who keep motivating me to be the best version of myself, and all of that. And then these are life codes that I'm getting from different folks. So I'm gonna add y'all to it, but I've got some very, very interesting ones which I love. But here's where I want to send them on a treasure hunt, right? This is my block at the school. I have a block. A couple years ago, about 8, I donated some money, so they made me a block. But you can see what I have written on that block, right?
You're our cow. You basically you're the mix of us.
yeah, pretty much. Work hard, stay humble. That's it. That's my name on that block, and I'm gonna send them on a treasure hunt to try to find where that is. And if you do, they get $100.
Nice.
But I 100% believe in those principles that both of you kind of shared, so we definitely have alignment, in that respect. Again, guys, thank you for your time. We went way longer than we had set out to be.
Right.
But this is
We got you. All good.
They're good.
That's the beauty.
Nah.
Oh man, bro. Nice. All right.
Love
sweet.
you both
Sweet.
very much.
Sure.
Love
You too,
guys
man.
are
So proud of
great
you.
kids.
This is good. Yeah. Keep up the
Alright.
good work.
Keep up, yeah.
I mean, I would say anybody given the chance to be on the Heart and Mind podcast, The Sea is Running, do not pass out on that.
That's the plug right there.
And drop.
That is the plug right there. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode and hopefully picked up 1 or 2 relatable moments or experiences. I strongly believe we're all connected through our shared experiences, and my goal is to unite us all through these various mind and heart conversations. I look forward to having a mindful conversation with you next about your life, your experiences, and your take on current events. Stay tuned.